time for women's bracketology. And we're going to need some help. Here's Allie.
Yo!
Brian, I can't hear you, my friend. Not even a little bit.
Not again.
That's terrible.
That's just terrible.
Oh, no. Here we go again. Oh, well, she dropped.
We're going to get this figured out.
Yeah,
Let's try this again.
Hey.
Let's try this again, shall we?
There we go.
Now I can hear you. I thought I'd gone deaf or something.
Now, I hate to tell you, but I think the laptop told all of us to shut up.
Well, that equals some family members I have who tell me to shut up all the time.
Your laptop basically pulled a rock and told all of us to
shut up, bitch.
Love that.
And that's our clip for the day.
And that's how we get started. Okay. Yeah. We did our women's bracketology yesterday.
And man, things changed.
Then we went to
You did it without me? You did that women's.
That's why you're here today.
Things changed.
Things have changed, and how does my wife put it? Since we've done our women's bracketology, I've slept since then.
Yes.
We all fell asleep, and the women's bracketology pulled a big old spinneroonie on us.
The only thing that remains the same is the top overall seed, and they have that slated for South Carolina.
Right. I'll go along with South Carolina, but it's been a checkerboard. All you have to do is wait for the next move all year. You think, USC, it could have been UCLA, for God's sakes. It could have been Texas, who got the number one. They were ranked number one by the AP, 2 weeks ago, something like that. It's ridiculous. The thing is that this year, unlike many years in women's bracketology, has been all over the place. You've not seen UConn at number one for quite a number of years. Mm-hmm. You used to be able to count on them as a number one seed at any given time. But, Paige Beckers has got a good team around her. There's not a team of superstars that we have seen in previous years, and that's trouble for UConn. However, they're coming on strong. They won the Big East tournament. You're going to see them as probably a number 2 or 3 seed. That's my prediction. And Gino Auriemma I've seen him do this before. He's going to be schmitzing for the next 2 weeks. And he's never going to think that his team's going to be number one. He is going to schmitz all the way to the Final Four this year. And then he's going to be schmitzing again.
Pretty much. And by the way,
UConn, they have are South Carolina, UCLA, Texas, and USC. Those are the ones they have now.
You're talking about the NCAA.com, right?
Yep.
And I was going to say UConn is sitting at a 2 in the same bracket as Texas.
Right. Now this should be
fair. That ain't fair. That should be a national semifinal matchup. Not a regional final matchup. That ain't fair.
Yes, and I agree. Tell me where they have Notre Dame sitting right now.
Notre Dame is 2. Notre Dame is sitting at a 2 in the same bracket as UCLA. Region 2 Spokane.
Got it. Not surprised. And
I'm looking at these possible regional final matchups. And these are four of the juiciest matchups I've seen in women's hoops in a long time.
Yeah.
At Region 1 Birmingham, the 1-2 goes South Carolina and TCU. Van Lith and the Big 12 champs.
Yeah.
2 in Spokane, the 1-2 goes UCLA and Notre Dame. Oh boy.
You know, I'm reminded somehow of the 2011 NCAA finals, which were in Indianapolis, and I remember covering Notre Dame and Texas A&M at Butler, and I was, everybody in that field house was completely behind Notre Dame, and who ends up winning but Texas A&M. Yep. This Cinderella team that's never been seen since. It was such a remarkable feat because, seeing such a sad Muffet McGraw face on the other side, so we got outplayed. She's a class act under all circumstances. I loved her, and Notre Dame has just improved even after her retirement a while ago. But that's how I see this tournament. Really, is it's going to be just incredible action from the round of 64 through the championship. You're going to see the highest level of basketball possible. I can't wait to see, and I'll tell you, I'm going to go with the NCAA.com predictions. UCLA, South Carolina, USC, Texas particularly. And you're going to see some of the best basketball. Now, the question will be, after this tournament, what do you think? Is Paige Beckers still going to be number one?
Yep.
Yeah.
You think?
Easily.
Yep.
Easily.
Let me tell you though, a scenario. Way back when, at another tournament, you saw Angel McCautry, who I believe played for the Cardinals of Louisville, take on UConn, and Renee Montgomery was slated to be number one that year. I think it was 2009. And what, if I'm recalling correctly, Angel McCautry caught the eye of enough people and handled UConn so well at the beginning of that game that she actually became the number one pick in the WNBA draft that year. You remember that, Brian?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And there was, and I felt kind of bad for Renee Montgomery because she was a damn fine player, but you saw for the first 5 minutes of that game, it eventually became a slaughterhouse. But with Angel, she was one hell of a leader on that team, and that's the reason why. I don't dispute that Paige Beckers is the best player in college basketball today, unless you want to call Juju Watkins the best player. Or Hannah Hidalgo on any given day. Yeah.
It could easily be a three-way tie between those three. And I'll give you a wild card. Madison Booker from Texas.
There's that too. Yeah. Yeah. She would be a fine choice at number one, but I would say that here, the wildest scenario that I have, though, is that UConn would be taking UCLA at some point.
Yep.
That's what. Do you
Lauren
like that?
Lauren Betts.
Pardon me?
Lauren Betts, who has been one of my favorite players to follow this year, along with Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers and Raven Johnson from South Carolina, Chloe Kitts also from South Carolina. This season has been fun to cover for women's hoops.
It sure has. And the one thing, was somebody else wanting to say something before I say the one thing?
I was going to say, when was the last time we saw women's basketball this diverse with 8 to 10 players that could be considered number ones?
Yeah,
this is a first in my memory. I would say that maybe probably before I started covering, the year Diana Taurasi, the now retired Diana Taurasi after 20 years, I would say that was probably the last time you had this much diversity and this much talent. I could be very wrong about that. There likely has been a few more years, but you had that run of 3 championships while she was at UConn, and so my hat's off personally. I said, but coming from different schools, to have those 9 or 10 people coming from different schools, we're in uncharted territory right now. And I'm so excited. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I think if my fantasy serves me properly, I'm thinking that and hoping and praying that the women's tournament gets more attention and better ratings than the men's tournament. Am I being mean?
Nope, because I'm hoping the same thing.
I'm
hoping the same thing. I hope the road to Tampa blows the road to the Alamo away.
I love it. I can't wait. And it will be one of the most exciting tournaments ever. And here's the deal, though, with UConn, because as I'm reading, who all is there. It's not just Paige. You've got such a strong backcourt. The concern is that there's going to be no one else who can prepare for something like a UConn, except for maybe Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
It's
UConn and South Carolina for the title. Oh boy. I listen. I have my notebook here with games scheduled. I left open everything from the 19th through through April 7th open. Why? The women's NCAA tournament.
Oh, and
good
Brian,
man.
If I could slip in a game while I'm doing other games, I'm going to. Go ahead, Shane.
I was going to say, just so you know, UConn, South Carolina would be a Final Four matchup, not a championship.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I would see that
to take on Dawn Staley in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would pay to see that.
Look, you might be paying a lot, buddy.
It would be worth it.
Yeah,
that type of matchup would be worth it.
Why don't they just do what they did last year and play a game inside a stadium? I mean, if you can have the crossover at Kinnick, and I will forever keep this argument, you can move the Final Four to a 70,000 seat stadium and fill it with
Absolutely. I would love to see that.
I'd
I
love
would,
to see that also.
yeah. And you know that, Brian, we got our wish. All the home games of the Chicago Sky this year against the Indiana Fever.
At the
It's going to
United
be in the United Center.
Center,
Yay!
and
Oh my!
extra seats. I don't care what anybody says, and people are sending me the revised capacity of the UC. Throw that out the
Mm,
window. There's going to be 24,000 people in there with room to spare. Watch this. There's going to be 20,000 plus in the United Center. Both games between the Sky and the Fever will be
mhm.
at the United Center. And
Now
oh boy, I can't wait to put the
the
headset on for that one.
now those games, one will be on Saturday, June 7th, and tip-off time of 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And also the game originally set for Saturday, July 28th will now be played on Sunday, July 27th with a tip-off time of 2 p.m. That's Central Time again,
Where
and 3
the west,
p.m. Eastern.
the west side,
And
the west side will be shut down.
oh my God.
The west
I
side is shut down, and every parking lot within a mile radius of the United Center will be filled to the brim. You're going to have people coming by, and just like the Michael Jordan days, nope, no parking available. You're going to have to park somewhere and walk.
You got it. The lovely thing is, I mean, it's either that. I recommend Uber. Honestly, I
Yes.
recommend yep, Uber, Lyft. I got no dog in this fight, but that will work. Now, speaking of, you've got the Sky playing. Starting play. Let's see. They're going to play 3 preseason games, 2 against Minnesota on May 6th and 10th, and 1 against the Brazilian national team at LSU on May 2nd. I'd love to get down to LSU. That would be so much fun. And you got to remember who all is going to be on the Sky this year. This is a whole new era now. It's Angel Reese, Camila Cardozo, Courtney Vandersloot coming back. Ariel Atkins just recently signed, and against Caitlin Clark, Dewana Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Kelsey Mitchell from the Indiana Fever. So you are going to have just a powerhouse.
Yep.
For the United Center. I can't wait to see those records start falling. I want to see. I'm not sure what the fire hazard capacity is of the United Center person.
Probably about 26.
24,711 for basketball.
They'll probably put it up to 26.
24,711 for basketball. How do I remember those numbers? Oh, the first NBA final hosted at the UC, 1996. I was there. Strapped to the press pass. That was one of the few times I got to see Jeff Joniak in action when he was radio host, and he was the pre and post game host for the Bulls for that year. I remember that number oh so well because every day after the game, my dad, bless his heart, would cut out the box score. He taught me every day, read the box score, get familiar with the stats, because I got a feeling you're going to want to know those.
Good dad.
I think my dad knew what I wanted to do
for
a long, long time.
Yep. I wish my dad had that kind of insight. He said, let's use this for the cat's litter. And
you don't use a box score for the cat litter?
Oh, we don't read the sports section. My mom. Well, neither of my parents were huge sports fans. My mom was good with the Cubs. She loved the Cubs because my grandmother loved the Cubs, and so when I was growing up, sports was not revered in my household. So my brother and I would sneak away, and I said, we would just go, let's go and take the sports section before it becomes cat litter. And my mother will attest to this. 98 years old almost on May 6th. She's going to be 98 years old. And it took her a while to realize how serious my interest in sports was going to be and how much I wanted to make it part of my professional career. And it was, don't you want to just wear dresses? And I'm going, no. Thanks, Mom. But she did say she supported the dream. She and my dad supported the dream when they knew I was serious, and I give them all credit, for having them chase watching me chase it for so many years, because they definitely just keep trying, and that's eventually what happened. That's why I'm here, and
that's why we're best friends in all the sports that we've covered over the years.
Amen for that, Bri. Amen for that.
Now you tried the Angel Reese meal from McDonald's, did you not?
I sure as heck did. And I'll tell you.
Give us the lowdown.
Okay. It's a bacon quarter pounder, essentially, with a secret sauce, served with fries and a drink. Okay. I took a nice long bite, took a great big bite. It's a big burger, right? The quarter pounder fills your mouth, especially as big as mine is, it's bigger. And so I'm going, so the secret is the sauce, right? The sauce starts out very sweet. I'm going, okay, this is good, tasting it, swirling it around in my mouth, kind of. And then I get this backwash of spice. And it's a delayed reaction spice. And it is, I'm going, damn, it is good. And I think that the sauce is really what makes this burger. And for as long as it's at McDonald's, especially while they're still serving the the Shamrock Shake, the Shamrock Shake, you got to get to McDonald's to try this. It's a huge meal. Angel Reese is a very tall girl and needs her nourishment. So this is a very tall burger. I mean, it was certainly large for me because I usually order Happy Meals there. I'm not kidding. I do, because I order. You can ask my boyfriend Greg. You can ask a whole bunch of other people. My kid is like, "Why are you ordering Happy Meals?" I'm going, but not this time. And it was the best. It really is good, and it's got like pickles on it. It's got it's got that nice very crispy bacon on it, and so it's a treat. it's a definite treat and works very well with a Shamrock Shake. So
We got a few minutes left. The
it,
Shamrock Shake
yeah,
is one of the most evil things I've bought from McDonald's.
Not wrong.
yes.
Because one day earlier this week, I'm sitting here in the office. I was editing something, and then the next thing I knew, yeah, you know what happened. I passed out. I sat in this chair and I passed out. I get a bump on the shoulder, and my wife comes in with this green thing that's about this big.
Mhm.
Always teaches me that this is not a cup when it comes to my coffee. She says, "Here, this will wake you up." It did. That Shamrock Shake is nothing to play with.
No, it's huge, and you had the big dollop of whipped cream on top, of course, and yeah. I usually try for one or two of them in a season, and it's well worth it. And because
Uh,
I
I just
try to
passed
limit the
because
sugar.
that was my third.
Brian, my friend.
Went somewhere with Jody, and we passed McDonald's, and she sees the Shamrock Shake. She goes, "Shall we get one?" Yes. Turn
You
right
can
around.
always share it. You need to share it, hon.
We did.
Another thing
We got
that
we got two separate shakes.
my my kid highly recommends the Shamrock Shake Oreo cookie thing that they serve as well. I mean, it's like mint in there and Oreo cookies. It's really delicious too. I forget what their Sundays are called, but they that's very good too. So if you don't want a full shake, you can have one of those. But I do recommend sharing. And that way you only get half of the evil 750 calories or whatever it is. So
it's only 750. It's only 750 calories. I'd swear it was more than that. One more
well, if you
dessert.
get a large one, yeah.
Then it's more than that. One more dessert, and then we're gonna have to get out of here because I tried something from Dairy Queen that was so evil. I had to have two of them.
What?
Y'all are making me hungry. You know this.
Anyone that knows me or knows of me and what my wife and I do when we lived in North Carolina, Girl Scouts came by and we had about 6 boxes of Thin Mints.
I know where this is going.
So don't I.
They had a Thin Mint cookie dough blizzard. Let me say that again. A Thin Mint cookie dough blizzard from Dairy Queen.
You have to go back to Dairy Queen.
I call myself being sneaky one day when my wife asked me to run errands for her. I try one. I got busted.
That was a mistake of a lifetime.
Yep. I tried a small one and I got busted. Why? Because I drove right back there and ordered 2 more, one for me and one for Jody.
I'm loving it.
And I come back with dinner. I come back with the dessert. I got my daughter's dessert as well. And Jody looked at me and said, "You tried one of these while you were out, didn't you?" Yes, I did. She said, "Okay." She grabbed it and said, "I can try this." Yeah. It's now a very guilty pleasure.
Nice.
Thin Mint Blizzard from Dairy Queen. Y'all got to try that. And we're
They
out
need
of
to sponsor us.
They need to.
Yes.
Gotta work on that. Going to work on that. We're out of time. That's Alison Mic Drop Moran joining us, talking all things women's sports. We love you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. See you next week. Good to see you.
I'm going to go get one.
I'm gonna have to eat. I'm gonna have to eat when we get off air. Y'all screwed me up.
Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. And yes, the Thin Mint Cookie Dough Blizzard exists. We're out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the road. And yes, Stephen Curry is still the face of the NBA and will be until he retires. Bye.
You know, we just told our dietitians